Pow.
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 Vegas time. Danny Vegas World, segment 4.
4.
Special guest today
3.
on segment 4 on Last Call. That's what we call segment 4.
I feel like I'm on Bill O'Reilly.
You are on Bill O'Reilly. You wish you were on Bill O'Reilly.
I know.
Did you move up? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, Tommy.
Yes, actually, Tommy was on yesterday.
Yeah,
oh my
the
God,
new
I love
star
her.
of the world. She's not only did she go to school in Las Vegas.
She went to UNLV.
She's from South Dakota, same
Yes.
as me.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Does that mean I got a shot?
No, that means you get to live, and so does she.
No, okay. All right. So we both did some time in South Dakota. If you don't know what we're talking about, who cares? But anyway, here at Jodie, welcome.
Thank
We've been
you.
following, like I said.
Don't bring it up again.
Southwest Gas is probably like, what in the
Southwest
hell?
Gas, yeah.
Who's the one that broke the pipe of that lady's house?
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
Well, it wasn't a broken pipe. It was a corroded pipe that should
Okay.
have been looked at months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and they decided, well, we've decided now you need to change it because there could be a leak. Cut everything off. And I'm like, well, whoa, wait, guys, what do I do? Well,
That's a valid point and something to speak about because I was following the Southwest Gas controversy. Jodie's father is a seasoned citizen. He's an older gentleman.
87, right?
And 87-year-olds, they should not be forced to deal with freezing temperatures
No.
when at all possible. Now, I saw another friend of mine post, she got a notice, she lives in Boulder City, that they're turning off the power at sunrise at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning
Right.
for a couple of hours. Same thing.
yeah,
Are
but
we
I
thinking
didn't
ab-
get that.
But are we thinking about that, utilities, that you're choosing to cut off power during times that those freezing temperatures? She's got young kids at home,
Right.
and it's going to be off for hours. Have we thought about that? I mean, I know we have to turn off power eventually, or turn off the water, turn off the pipes.
We get text messages from the community where my father lives that says the water's going to be
Right.
off between 9 and 11 tomorrow
Right.
or 10 and 2 on the next day. Please make plans.
Yeah.
I never got that opportunity. They came to the house at 10 o'clock. At 10:15, I had no gas.
They looked at it like an emergency.
Yeah,
With
they
the
looked
snow.
at it as an emergency and then told me it was my problem
Yeah.
because it wasn't on Southwest Gas's particular area. So that means I had to go to the front, get them. It took them 24 hours to get somebody out there. Now I have no heat, no hot water.
Wow.
My father's got his hat and his jacket on. I had to go out and buy 2 heaters and an electric blanket.
Poor Dad.
What my thing was and what I posted today was every utility company needs to have a go-to community outreach program where there are heaters that you can go and you can borrow. I spent $200 2 weeks before Christmas of money I don't have
Right.
to have to do this. But they worked from 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When they came to turn it on, they turned it too tight and broke the whole thing in half. So they had to redo the whole line.
Right. And then they had to test
Took
it.
them
and
12
everything like
hours.
that.
At 2:30 in the morning, I'm outside with the guy, turning
Yeah,
on the heater.
we knew
and
you
I
would
didn't
be.
care.
Yeah, I figured you were
Yeah.
out there in your pajamas and
You'd
robe.
be out
like,
there.
is that thing fixed yet? But
But
anyway,
Southwest was great.
good deal. Thank you. Now, the people in North Dakota were like, "Wow, thank you, Southwest Gas," because now our attention's on something else.
My.
So,
Do we see a
fire
karmic
starter.
thing there? Not with your dad, no.
anyway.
You deserve a
Well,
solid
we're glad
pipeline.
you're here today. We're going to have a hashtag One Lucky Gal meeting after the show today
We
because
are.
that's moving forward every week. But we wanted to bring up a subject in segment 4, which, and I might even do a little clipping so that we can get into it. Now, this, with all the stuff going on with the presidential election, I think everything else just got like, who cares? But anyway, here in Nevada, we voted that you can now smoke or eat or whatever marijuana legally.
Okay, what it is.
So
now,
the
now
stoners are like all happy now. Jeff Spicoli is back in town and he's all happy.
all right, let me
It's my
tell you what had happened with 2 because
Okay.
medical marijuana was okayed in Nevada
And that was a scam. But
a
okay.
while ago.
Okay, that was a scam, but we love
according
it.
some of the martini drinkers thinks that scam. Some of the other folks that are open to holistic healing don't. But let's not get into that.
Okay.
It has decriminalized a certain amount of personal use
Okay.
marijuana, either the kind you smoke or the kind you eat.
Right.
Now, smoking weed in public is still illegal.
Okay.
And by the way, these laws do not take effect until January
January.
1st. So to my
that's
friend,
2 weeks.
for my friend who was recovering at the bar right a couple days after the election and just in misery because Trump won, and shows me that he was going to smoke up to alleviate his stress with Trump winning.
I would have smoked anyway.
January
wouldn't have mattered.
January 1st is when it becomes legal for personal use, but you cannot smoke it in public. You cannot be high and drive. And this does not mean, I'm sorry to tell you, because we're talking about business now, this does not mean that your boss can't fire you because you've been smoking
Same
weed.
as alcohol in my book.
So you wanna argue and whine and cry about it. I get that. I'm not anti-pot. I'm really not. It's not my method of choice of
Right.
relaxation.
Mine either.
I smoked it a lot when I was a teenager, when I was a kid. I'm older now, and I don't enjoy it. I'd rather have a glass of wine or a martini if I'm going to chill out. But your private employer can decide whatever reason they want to hire you and fire you, as long as it's not breaking your right to work,
It's not
your civil
infringing
rights,
on your
civil liberties, right?
Exactly.
But a private business can decide how they're going to hire you and why they're going to fire you.
Well, you can't take prescription drugs. There's a lot of companies that don't allow you to be high on OxyContin when you go to work either, especially if you're operating any kind of machinery. They can require you, just as we were talking before the show, they can require you to have certain specifics to your job.
Sure.
If you're a cocktail waitress and they tell you you are not allowed to weigh more than 145 pounds, and you come in and you're 175 pounds, they have every right to send you home.
Sure.
You agreed to that in advance, just like you agree to this.
Are we discussing this? Freedom of speech, that's a constitutionally protected
Sure it
right.
is.
But when you are hired by someone, there are certain things you can't say on the job. And nowadays, there are cops, there are teachers that are getting fired for what they're saying on Facebook about
social
race,
media, yeah.
On social-
about
yeah.
politics, about all sorts of things. And they are absolutely, the employers are within their rights when it goes to court, all the way up to the state Supreme Courts, federal courts, it's being upheld. Your employer can fire you. And keep in mind, too, if you have a federally regulated job, weed is not legal medicinally or socially,
Or any other way.
recreationally. So if you have a federally regulated job, sorry, you can't smoke weed.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? Like I said, hey, your dime bag, I want it to be now $10. So like $9.90 can go to the government to pay for stuff. If we're going to do this, I'm going to tax you guys like you're going to be crying in your soup about the taxes and not about the weed. But anyway, here's the thing I've always thought. Before I came on to WCOB, I wanted to have a beer. I could have a beer and not be affected. Weed is instantaneous high. Am I right? Am I wrong on that? I mean, you smoke dope.
I was 16. That was 41
stoned, right?
years ago.
I mean, there is no weed that's. Oh
No,
man,
that's
that's
not true.
no good.
If
That sucks.
if this monster was a beer and I drank this one beer before we got on air, it would affect me.
A glass of wine would affect me.
My tolerance level for liquor is way lower than yours is.
Well,
you're a
I'm just
man.
saying.
You're a man, and you've
I'm a
drank
man.
more regular. Yeah, you've got more.
that
You've got more muscle mass.
Well, exactly.
So
You
it
have
What
more-
I'm
metabolizes
saying
different.
is when you get. I've never watched anybody smoke dope and say, wow, that's not dope. That sucks. I didn't get high at all. I've never seen that. They've always, the guys get all glassed over. Here's my skull. I mean, it's a Jeff Spicoli syndrome, okay?
Well, I'm still waiting for all that money to come in, like in Colorado. They said they had $300 million in taxes.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
It's like lottery. It's like
Wow.
lottery taxes.
Once
It's
it
like
gets into
lottery
the government,
taxes.
it's
Wait a
all
minute.
gonna
It's like
get
lottery
sucked into
taxes
the
in
black.
California.
But I've got to say right now, because I know that when people are either watching this live or when they're going to be on the playback, they're going to talk to you and they're going to say, I guarantee you there are plenty of people that you're dealing with in business and in
Right.
professional
There are.
situations that
I have
are
my best friend smoke weed, and
that
I don't care.
are high and
Right.
you don't know it
No, I
because
think
because that's true. There are
think
people
it's true.
that use it in a way that, especially
If they random drug test you, though, look at all these places. We were talking about this. My ex-husband's an engineer. He builds refineries.
We only got
He was
55 seconds, ladies.
randomly drug tested. He ate a Kaiser roll on a Sunday for breakfast. It has poppy seeds on it. They suspended him for 2 weeks because they thought he had heroin in his blood.
That's right.
well, I've
But they
done a
paid
lot
him
of-
and brought him back because it wasn't true. But
Right.
still,
I'm writing an article on pot use in the workplace and the implications of that. And one of the things that I've been researching on is what are the current methods and accuracies of testing.
Right.
And for pot, because there's all sorts of different things. When you take a spit test, a urine test,
Hair.
a blood test,
Hair.
a hair test, they're all different as far as what gets picked up. I mean, did you know that on the hair follicle test, if we test your gray hair versus
Different.
my dark
Yep.
hair, you're probably going to be able to fool a test easier than I'm going to be able
Blonde
to fool
always
a
does.
test.
That's why they bleach the drug addicts will bleach their hair before they have to go to a drug test
So
because
there's,
it
so there's all sorts
strips
of
it.
issues and implications. The point being is, just because it passed and you're not going to necessarily go to jail for smoking a little bit of weed at your house does not mean your job is safe. So don't be
Yep.
acting a fool.
Well-
And if you're a business owner, you better talk to a lawyer or an admin person.
We'll get into more of it later, but the bottom line is, I know it's coming. I don't really care. Just tax the crap out of it. I just love giving stoners a hard time.
Yeah, but tax the
MC,
crap.
that's
Tax
you,
for
buddy.
what?
We'll get into it later. We gotta go. We'll be back next week with
Bye.
hashtag Lady and Ray and Dean Rose.
Yay!